So this guy is about to find out he has a secret twin brother, and that somehow leads to uncovering one of the most disturbing psychological experiments in American history. It's 1980, and this 19-year-old kid named Bobby Shafran is heading to his first day at Sullivan County Community College in upstate New York. Now Bobby, he's just a normal dude. Curly hair, kind of a baby face, nothing special. But the second he steps on campus, something really weird happens. Complete strangers start coming up to him like, "Hey Eddie, what's up, man?" Girls are hugging him, guys are slapping him on the back, and Bobby's standing there thinking, what the actual hell is happening right now? Because his name isn't Eddie and he's never been to this college before. So this one student named Michael Domnitz comes up to Bobby and he's like, "Were you adopted? Were you born on July 12th, 1961? And Bobby's like, yeah, how did you know that?" And Michael goes, "Holy shit, you have a twin." Turns out Eddie Gallen had attended the same college the previous year, and they looked exactly alike. So that same day, Bobby drives to Eddie's house on Long Island, and bam, it's like looking in a mirror. These dudes are identical, same face, same smile, same everything. The local newspapers pick up the story because, I mean, come on. Identical twins separated at birth accidentally find each other? That's wild. But then, a few weeks later, this other guy named David Kelman is eating breakfast, flipping through the newspaper, and he sees a photo of Bobby and Eddie. And David nearly chokes on his cereal because the guys in the photo look exactly like him. So David calls Eddie's house, and when Eddie's adoptive mother answers, David says, "I think I'm the third one." And she's like, "Oh my God, they're coming out of the woodwork." And just like that, these three random dudes discover they're not twins. They're triplets. Identical triplets separated at birth who had no idea the others existed for 19 years. Now when they finally meet, it gets even weirder. They discover they all wrestled in high school. They all smoke the same brand of cigarettes, Marlboros. They all like older women. They even have the same mannerisms and laugh the same way. So the triplets become instant celebrities. They're on all the talk shows, Phil Donahue, The Today Show, they're in People magazine, they're everywhere. They move in together, they party together, and they open a restaurant in Manhattan called Triplets. They even make a cameo in a Madonna movie called Desperately Seeking Susan. Life is good. But here's where it gets dark. The triplets' adoptive parents start asking questions, like why didn't the adoption agency tell them their sons had identical brothers? That seems like kind of an important detail to leave out, right? So they confront the Louise Wise Services Adoption Agency, and the agency gives them some BS about how it would have been too difficult to place triplets in the same home. And the parents are like, you could have at least told us they existed? But the adoption agency is hiding something much bigger. Much, much bigger. Fast forward to the mid-1990s, and this journalist named Lawrence Wright is researching an article about twins. He starts interviewing researchers and psychologists, and he stumbles upon something disturbing. The triplets weren't separated by accident. They were separated on purpose. This psychiatrist named Dr. Peter Neubauer, who worked at the Jewish Board of Guardians in New York, had set up this whole experiment. Idea was to separate identical twins and triplets at birth, place them in different types of families, working class, middle class, wealthy, and then study how they develop. Bobby was placed with a wealthy doctor. Eddie was placed with a middle-class teacher, and David was placed with a working-class store owner. And get this, the researchers would visit their homes regularly throughout their childhoods, filming them, testing them, interviewing them, all under the guise of a, quote, routine childhood development study. Oh, but it gets even worse. The records show that as babies, all three triplets showed serious signs of distress from separation. They were banging their heads against their cribs and rocking back and forth. Their development even slowed down. The researchers saw all this happening and wrote it in their notes, but they didn't do anything about it because they didn't want to mess up their precious experiment. Now when Bobby and David find this out, they're understandably like, what the fuck? They discover that at least 13 to 15 other sets of twins and triplets were separated this way. And get this, at least 3 of those kids eventually unalived themselves as adults, including their brother Eddie. And so what happened to all the research from this study? Dr. Neubauer never published it. Instead, before he died in 2008, he had all the records sealed at Yale University until 2065. Like, hey, I did this super unethical experiment on children without consent, but no one can look at the results until everyone involved is dead. Yikes. The surviving brothers, Bobby and David, have spent decades trying to get access to their own records. They've only received heavily redacted versions that tell them almost nothing. So that's the story of how 3 random dudes discovered they were identical triplets, separated at birth for a secret psychological experiment. And you thought your family had issues?